Hi, everybody. This is Johnny Guarco from Real Life Trading. We have a great treat for you today. We're going to do a couples interview. With me today is my awesome wife, Irene Guarco. We also have from the RLT staff, Tony and Ali Pollock. And we then have Taskia and Devin Azam and Brett and Katie Glover. So what we're going to talk about today is couples and how they support and help each other in trading. And I'm going to turn it over to Tony to go ahead and lead into our discussions today. Tony?
Awesome. So excited to be here. So we're super excited to do this. We haven't seen too many things out there with couples and your significant other in their support, whether they're trading with you or they're your support system as you trade. So trading is hard enough, let alone if you don't have your significant other helping you out along the way. If they're not on the same path as you, it's near impossible. So this discussion, we wanted to talk about how we got started in trading, what it was like for your significant other as they support you or as they joined on the journey with you and trade alongside you. And some of the struggles that we came across, some of the great things, the benefits, but also, just we want to be real and raw and show you what it really is like. Things to look out for so you can be more prepared as you are either approaching your spouse and saying, hey, I want to trade, and maybe a good way of doing that. But also for those that are in the middle of struggle, right? In the middle, we all were there. No one starts this and just becomes a millionaire overnight. For the most part, 99.9% of us, we all went through the low valleys. We all went through the struggles in trying to figure out how to do this and controlling emotions and learning how to lose money. And so whatever phase you're in, I think this will be an awesome interview, some great information. We're so excited to have you all with us. Thank you for your time, by the way. So let's kick it off. Let's with our stories. How did we get started into trading? What was it like for your support, significant other, or them trading alongside you? Love to hear some stories and just get some backgrounds on everyone. So who would like to start it off?
Yeah.
Any volunteers?
Taskia and Devin.
Yeah.
Let's hear that story.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Taskia. I started trading right after COVID happened. May, was it? May, April. Sure. Yeah, somewhere around that. But then I joined RLT around August. And I've never traded before. Actually, Devin was the one who told me that, hey, you should do this. And I was like, I don't know if I don't know what it is. I can't manage money, my own money. I don't know how to do that. And, but he was very encouraging. The reason I started is because of him. And then I started and I lost a lot of money and I had like a emotional crisis meltdown, and he was just there going, it's okay. It's all right.
Good job, Devin.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points for Devin.
Yeah. What was that like for you? What was going through your head as you're in that?
Oh, you go ahead.
Yeah, well, it was interesting. I think right after COVID happened and we had I believe it was those lows in March or whatever it was, I was more on the investment side, I would say. So looking at fundamental travel companies and that took a dip.
Nice.
Like I was telling her, like, they're going to recover, right? Like, some of these companies. So I said, let's invest in them, right? And we'll get a good return. And then, so we invested in them. They came up as they were kind of rebounding. We sold, we took some gains. And then she wanted to get into trading. And I was like, I don't know about trading. That's not my thing. I'm like investing, like fundamentals guy. And so then she started learning the trading and all that. And the ironic thing is now I trade. And I kind of got knowing from the fundamentals. So it's kind of worked in reverse. So it's been a little bit of a journey. I never thought she would like it that much because she really doesn't like finance.
He was like, you're gonna find it really boring.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I do like the budgets and like the household stuff, and she's always like, oh no, I don't want to look at that. Just pay the bills. Can you just pay the bills? How much money you need? Can you pay the bills?
He's basically my bank going, hey, so do you need this? Okay, I will send it to you. You deal with it.
So she was never one interested in financials. So I always thought, I'm like, you're not gonna like trading. Like you're gonna just find it boring, and you're just gonna be like, what are all these numbers, candles? What are those things? So, it was shocking to me how much she took to it when she started doing it. And I think it's been a fun journey. Like I've learned a lot about trading. I think we're kind of learning together. We have different styles, I would say. Like she's into certain parts of the market, I'm into different, like, we're not exactly the same. So stuff she'll come ask me and I'm like, I don't know, you can do your thing over there, I'm doing my own thing over here. So I think it's a little bit different. But yeah, I think we've supported each other throughout. I think through the recent pullback, I would say like
The last 2 weeks.
she was freaking out and me going, it's okay, we'll live, it's okay, we'll bounce back, we'll be all right.
Great.
So we kind of balance each other out a little bit.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is a very supportive couple. Katie, over to you. I mean, what are your views of Brett getting? Because Brett is just a beast, man. That guy. I think it was about 8 o'clock here in Hawaii last night, and the guy he was on Slack, putting up charts. He's just an animal. So what's, from your viewpoint, how you feeling? What are you thinking about Brett and his future in trading?
Well, I'm the reason he started trading.
True.
Wow.
Back when, COVID hit and everything, and I'm like, we should look into stocks. We should start investing some of our money in, like, I was thinking airlines, which apparently was not the right way to go. But so he's like, all right, I'll look into it. He didn't even know how to trade a stock. I think both of us knew what a stock was, made kind of overall generally, but that's about it. And knowing him, he's a researcher, and so he jumped in and did a ton of research and started trading. The problem is he is very obsessive, which is awesome. That's how he learns, and that's how we've probably made money, over the last 6 months. But when he first started and was enthralled in it, he wasn't making money. He wasn't losing money because he doesn't like to take risks.
Yeah.
But so the money would stay the same, but he's spending, a lot of time on this. And I said, I think it's great, but I want to see some movement, whether it's losses or gains. Like, you need to go somewhere. Otherwise, I feel like you're just wasting your time. And then that's when you found real life trading, I think.
September.
And then all of a sudden I'm hearing that we're making money. He took our refi money and we put that into trading, and we had sold a bunch of real estate. And so we put that money in there, and I wanted, I just kind of gave it to him. But when he was telling me these big chunks of money that he's got all tied up, it did scare me at first. But then learning about stop losses and stuff, I'm like, okay, it's good. And he's done really well. So.
Good.
Well, actually, it was your idea, and then I looked into it, didn't really understand it, and then my friend approached me with the Robinhood 2 free stocks thing.
Right.
And that's when I dove into it. Got my 2 free Levi stocks out of it. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Ali, how about you? I know you're a little bit different. This couple, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, they trade full time. That's what they do for a living. So I'm very interested to hear from Ali's perspective, like, how she felt, especially in the beginning, because that's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure, right?
Yeah. So our story is kind of crazy. We basically sold everything and we moved. I'm from Utah. We were currently living in Arizona, and then we came to Utah to try and see if this could work. Tony's just like, I want to trade stocks. And we didn't, maybe knew a little bit, but not enough to do it full time. And so, we just came to Utah and we're like, okay, we're just going to see how this goes. And it was, in the beginning, it was really hard because, so we sold our house and then we put that money that we sold our house for trading and in the trading account, and we just lost everything. Like, it just was like, every day it just seemed like it was, I lost 5,000 or I lost 3,000, 10,000. It was a long ride to just try and figure out what we were doing. And
it was hard enough too, because Ali wasn't like, she is a no risk person. Like she's the type of person that's like, if I have $100 in the bank, I'd rather it just stay $100 in the bank and I'm never going to lose that. I'm never going to make any money. I'm like, let's take $100 and let's go buy a lotto ticket.
Well,
let's go try to make something out of this thing.
Yeah, and Tony always has so many ideas. He's like, I could do this or this. It's like entrepreneur has so many ideas, and I'm like, okay, well, this is another one of his ideas. Like, we'll see if it pans out or not.
I'm not gonna gamble all this money. I'm not gonna do all this stuff. It was hard.
Yeah, I thought it was more of just kind of like, in the beginning, I'm like, this just seems like a scam. Like, I just feel like this is like, we're going to the casino and just blowing all of our money. But I think just, I don't know. I think I just kept trying to support and just kept trying to, even though it was really hard, and this is what Tony really wanted to do and something he was really interested in. So I think if you can just show that support to your husband or your wife or your spouse or whatever. But for me, I don't do any trading. I'm more of like the coaching side, I guess you could say. I don't know, like I know some terms, but I don't really know a whole lot of what they mean. So I'm just kind of Tony's emotional support. I just kind of say like, it's going to be fine, or like, we can do this, and make sure you just, keep your emotions in check and to not get too overly excited if you have a big win, or really, sad if you have a big loss. Just kind of try and even it out. And in the beginning, I think I was really a big coach for Tony and helping him.
Yeah, it helps a lot. I know when Allie didn't know what it was, when I didn't even know fully what trading was, it was hard and it was scary. When knowledge comes in, when you understand something, fear starts to leave, right? That doesn't mean, you're not going to lose money, right? The not fear of that, but the fear of, hey, is this just gambling? Is this just some rigged system that there's no way you could ever make money? And once you actually start to learn and figure out how things are, and without RLT, I would be lost. We'd both be lost without Jeremy helping me out, giving me all this time on one-on-ones, teaching both of us. Because once we both understood, we had a plan, we were able to see real people and be able to talk to people in the community within real life trading and ask them, hey, this person's actually making money and he's doing it consistently. This is real. It's possible, right? This isn't just a scam. It really does help. Once Allie kind of was like, okay, we can do this. This is the process. She's always naturally been very gifted with that emotional side of trading, which I was terrible at. I was so bad. I was living the highs and digging the lows. I mean, it was terrible. And Allie was always there to just say, hey, even today, 2 months ago, she's like, Tom, you're caring a little bit about money again. You know what? That's right. And for those that are watching this video that are struggling, right, that are losing tons and tons of money, their spouse is sitting there going, you know what I could have bought with $5,000 you just lost, right? We've all kind of been there, right? I know I have to turn to Allie and be like, I just lost. And, we went from that to more of understanding the system, right? Understanding that you're going to have losing months, you're going to have winning months. At the end of the year, if you have a profitable plan, it'll all work out. You'll be ahead at the end of the year. Just because you have a bad January, bad February, doesn't mean the rest of the year can't be fantastic. That's very normal in the trading world. But we're kind of stuck in the right now, right? The hard times, the months that aren't working. And so it's all about having your spouse focus on the plan. It wasn't no longer did you make or lose money, it was did you follow your plan? Right. And changing the mindset behind that was really crucial for us. And Allie was the one that did that. Allie is one of let's stop talking about money. Who cares about money? Guys, I threw her through the gauntlet. I mean, we bought this house, we did everything thinking I was gonna make $1 million in 2 weeks, and I was losing 10 grand a week. And I was just like, I had a mortgage to pay, I had bills, I had cars, I had everything on the line. I thought I would do so great at this, and I was completely dead wrong. Yeah. And we got down and hit zeros in our bank account. Zeros. Wow. And we were shopping at Walmart, grocery shopping, go to pay, and there's nothing in the account. The last bill took the last dime out of our account. And, in that moment, I had a few wins that next Friday, and Allie goes, let's give it away. Let's give most of this away. Because the reason why we're not working is because we care too much about money. It's like we needed money. I couldn't even pay our bills. And Allie was the one saying, hey, let's give this away. Let's go find someone in need. It was like $50, but that's literally all we had.
But to get to that point, though, it didn't like happen overnight. At that point, it was probably 8 months to a year of just really trying to not care about, because it's easier said than done to try and not care.
Yeah.
But when you stop like associating money with things that you can get, it helps a lot. Like when Tony first started, I was very like, I could have got so much with $5,000, or we could have paid our house, or like there's so many things that this could have gone towards. But I think just all that experience, just learning how to just emotions, and just to know that money, isn't happiness, and it isn't everything in the world. And and just to get to the point where it's like, it's okay, we can like take what we got to help other people. It can be big or small. It doesn't have to be anything big, but
right. So from nothing to what you guys are today, just an unbelievable story. I'm going to let Irene describe our story, because it's quite different from all of yours, and I want everybody to listen to this story, because if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be sitting here right today talking about this, because she's the one who got me involved. I was the one dragging my feet saying, nah, not for me. I'm not going to worry about this right now. But I was like, okay, if you want to check it out, but go ahead. I call my wife Yen, so that's my love name for her, but she goes by Irene, whatever you guys want to call her. But go ahead. Can you tell everybody our story and kind of how we got involved and how supportive?
Yeah, if you notice, Johnny and I, when Tasca and Devin were talking about their journey, Johnny and I were looking at each other, because I'm like, hey, that sounds familiar, except that it's in reverse. Because I'm actually started in trading, because I went to graduate school and I focused in finance, and I started learning fundamentals. So like Devin, I'm a fundamental type of person when it comes to trading, and Johnny as well. When we first met, he had a brokerage account, and he had a broker who would call him, hey, Johnny, this stock is, is good to buy right now, and then John would just say, yeah, go ahead, and, and they'll hold it until it comes to a point where, it has grown and ready to be sold. So for the two of us, that was our background, just mostly fundamental. And then I got pregnant with our second child together. Well, our fifth in the family.
5 total.
Yeah, that's another Zoom meeting interview episode for the life of Johnny.
Brett and Katie can talk about.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but long story short, I got pregnant with our youngest daughter, Summer. And while I was pregnant, I wanted to go back to graduate school to get an accounting degree, but then I got pregnant, and I'm like, no, I can't do this while pregnant, because I know, having gone through one master's degree already, how grueling that could be. And so I needed something to do with my time, and that's when I got introduced with
Jeremy was with a different company, right?
Jeremy was in a different company at that time, and I got introduced to day trading and swing trading, as a matter of fact. And so that was November of 2011, and I said, I'm looking at, I'm going through the classes, and I'm thinking, and that was at the same time John was looking for opportunities or something else to do when he retires. So he's forward looking like that, which is, which is a good thing, because you're thinking, okay, I have a good job now and I love what I do, but when I'm done with it, what shall I do? And he's looking into several different things, and I'm going through my classes, and I'm like, hey, this is something that John can do. And I tell him, and he's like, hun, this is what he told me. You can't teach old dogs new tricks. And now that's gonna be like a myth.
Yes.
Because this old dog, well, he's not quite old. Quote unquote, yeah. This old dog can learn new tricks, and he loves it, and that's how we started. And then he met Jeremy, and here he is today. So he never stopped since then. So.
And now the real stock trading crusher right here. So she kind of put the whole trading career on hold while the babies were growing up,
Yes.
but she's just gotten back into it, and she's doing swings trading, and she's just crushing it. So
Yes.
quite different, because we're trading together. We talk about trades together, from not only a technical analysis perspective, but also from that fundamental perspective. So Katie, I understand too, when I first met Brett, you were helping him out on the fundamental side. Is that correct?
I guess. I knew that we had a stock package with P&G, right?
Oh yeah.
But I would, he did ask me, he's like, well, what kind of trading do you want me to do? Do you want me to do swing trading, day trading? I think he only knew of like day trading,
pretty much, yeah.
and long-term investments. And so he's like, I can't do, day trading, or I can't do that full time, because that, like, you have to be watching the computer constantly if you're going to do that. And I have a full-time job, so that's not an option. So he didn't know that, all of the differences. So we kind of figured that out together, what you can do, and that he can do it while doing his full-time job.
Yeah. So Katie, what's your greatest fear with, because now Brett, I don't know how you guys do it, because do you have 4 or 5 babies?
4.
4 babies. So you have your young couple, 4 babies, you got your careers. Katie, what makes you really nervous about this? Is there anything at all? Because money is a fundamental thing that families build their whole relationship around, their whole future around. You guys are going down this new road. What are your greatest fears, and how are you overcoming those?
Because of who Brett is, I don't really have any fears with it, just because I know he's not going to risk more than we can afford to risk. He's just been that type of person. Although, don't trust him with cash. He can't, if you give him some cash, it's gone. But as far as having basically all of our money into, stocks, I fully trust him with that, in doing that. And he doesn't do our finances. I'm the one that takes care of, the bills, and I don't even.
And I'm the hands-off approach. Just you do it.
Yeah, he'd rather just have me do it, and I don't think he even knows how to get into our bank account.
Sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's not a whole lot of fears. I feel like this is going to be probably opening up more doors for us.
Mm-hmm.
And he's already made a good chunk of money out of, I think, you've gotten 33% of you've made 33% of what we've put into it since August or something.
Yeah, fantastic.
So that's been helpful. And the big thing is making sure that we pay ourselves. That was one thing that I was like, okay, the numbers you're giving me means nothing because I'm not seeing it. And so back in November, he started paying half to it. So, and that became more of our fund money and home upgrades. Yep. And then I guess financing my crazy hobbies that I've come up with too. So
awesome. Hey, Devin. So, what do you think the future brings? I mean, do you think this is a skill that, because you guys have that awesome balance between, fundamental look and now technical analysis. You got the whole real life trading community, that you're part of. Everybody saw Ezra, a little while ago. What do you think about being able to pass these kind of skill sets down to younger generations, so they're able to have that skill, so it will give them flexibility and allow them to do some things that a lot of people won't be able to do because they don't have the mindset of using the stock market to generate that extra income. So what do you think about Ezra and passing that down to him and providing him that skill?
Yeah, I think I don't know about you guys, but I think we always say, I wish we'd known about this earlier. I wish somebody had told us about this earlier. you know, I always go, man, I wish I didn't waste all that money I had before, and I could invest it.
Yeah,
And,
that's a constant
so
conversation.
I think it's something that I think is value add for him, and I think definitely something that we want to pass down to him. And just general, that sort of financial literacy as well. And yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of value add, you know, in doing something like this. And there's a lot of work to it. I think, you know, people hear sometimes that you're trading and they think, oh, it's so easy. Like, oh, you know, you're making money, and they see, I guess, the results of it, but I think they don't understand the process sometimes, and they just think, you know, it's easy to do, and they don't realize how much work goes into it and stuff like that. So I think, like, you know, the entire process and learning all of, like, the entire skill of it is something we'd like to pass down to him, and really to appreciate the amount of work as well that has to go into it. Because like, we've seen some of Tasia's family, they just think it's very easy to do. So, you know, they get into their meme stocks and their, you know, the social media side of things, and you know, without any of the technical sort of thing, and they, you know, they think it's just easy to do that way, right? They don't look at, you know, any sort of trends or you know, the candles or anything. They just think, oh yeah, they said this on Twitter and Reddit, so we're gonna buy this stock today. And so, you know, I think people sometimes underappreciate the work that goes into it. So I think going forward for Ezra, it's sort of putting in the work, using your money smartly, investing it or trading with it. Yeah, so I definitely think it's something that we all wish we had growing up, and something that I would definitely like to teach him going forward. So that's something he can do as well.
Awesome.
And when I was growing up, I never had nobody had the money talk with me, so I had no idea about savings or investment or any of those things till I was late 20s, which is, it's crazy that all my life I went without even saving any money till I started trading. So I think it's important even for him I would like to teach him how to do that much earlier than before he's even, like, I don't know, 10.
Yeah.
Like, start them early, get that knowledge, because I think it's just so important, because otherwise you're not really putting anything into your future, which is super scary. So
yeah. Brett, Katie, 4 babies, what you thinking?
Well, I've tried to get them to at least take, like, part of their allowance and put it in the stock market, even like with a little listed stocks for them.
Yeah,
you know, Disney or Amazon, fractional shares or something like that. But haven't fully got them on board yet. But
I think our second born is a lot like Brett, where he does get, you know, like an obsessive type of attitude about things. So I think when he gets older and has a little bit better concept of money, you know, he'll be probably more into it, because he does want to have money. He just doesn't want to work for it. He's 9, so but, you know, and then we have our oldest is 11, and she, I don't know, I mean, she might get into it. She keeps saying she wants to get into real estate with us. So I think, you know, we've kind of combined the two, because now it's like the real estate money that we make in real estate, we put towards the stock market. And so I could see her working that way, but we'll see. You know, we haven't hit that teenage years yet, so things might fly off the handle with her plan joining us.
You have plans for your babies?
Yeah, Summer, I think, has a really good potential, just because she has the capacity to sit down and absorb things and learn from mommy. Our 14-year-old is quite different, although I think his motivation would be he wants to have money. So if anything, okay, we tell him, learning to trade the stock market will give you a better chance of having income consistently, rather than putting your future into being what is that?
Gamer, streamer,
or streaming star. Because everybody,
he's at that age, right?
The kids,
that's what they want to do.
Yep.
I'm gonna be a YouTuber, Mom. I'm gonna earn millions of dollars. I'm gonna be having this much following.
Right.
son, if it's that easy, everybody won't have to work. They will just have to put themselves on YouTube and there you go, you're good to go. But it's not the case.
And we tried to explain to him those 15,000 followers that he has.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, Vaughn, if they were following you with the stock market, what that would be like? And
Yes.
he's like, oh, yeah.
Yes. So you're not just providing entertainment, which can be fickle, because what's entertaining today may not be entertaining tomorrow, and you may lose that following. But if you give content that changes people's lives, then you'll have a better chance of having longevity, if that's the industry that you want to be in. So, and then we have a 23-year-old. We told you John has a very colorful life. So, but we have a 23-year-old that has now opened his IB account and started working with that, picking out stocks and looking at entries and pullbacks. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, we're getting
Bought some Apple, Tony, this week.
There you
Yeah.
go. Me too.
No brainer, right?
Right.
But for a 23-year-old, to own Apple down at 118 bucks, oh my goodness.
Yes.
Man.
So I got to ask Allie, we haven't talked about, we're here as family. I mean, we've really never sat down, the four couples, and really talked, but I have this just feeling of this bond and closeness. Allie, can you talk about like your vision and what you think about the RLT community and what that means for the Pollock family, and how that can be there as a support mechanism, for everybody's future?
Yeah, it's been so great for us. Like RLT has blessed us in so many ways. It's just like such an awesome thing to have in our lives. And even before we were working for RLT, it was just nice for Tony to have like that education side. Like the education side is so important with trading. But yeah, it just feels like it's just so nice to be in an environment where everyone cares, everyone is so welcoming and loving, and we wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for everyone here and for everyone's support and Jeremy pushing us through. And it was hard in the beginning, and his support and just giving, I just feel like everyone in RLT just gives everyone a shot to become anything they want to become. And that's just amazing to have that support and to have just a nice place to come to when you're learning and growing and everyone's cheering each other on. And it's just a really good environment to be around when you're trying to figure out all the stock things.
Yeah, I've been a part of other communities. I've never seen a community like RLT from day one. We all tend to get together in a way that we attract each other, right? They're good people. They want to help. We've all been there. And when we succeed, we don't want to lift ourselves higher than others. We want to pull someone else higher than ourselves. And that's something I haven't seen in any other trading room that I've ever been a part of. The amount of goodness and the amount of free time that people give to help someone struggling, the amount of money people give to pay for other people's education, one-on-ones with mentors, and the scholarship programs that are just starting. This is just the beginning of RLT. And I get messages, I know Johnny gets messages every week of someone that says, hey, this is how my life has changed over the past just 3 months. It's not like a 20-year process. It's, I am figuring this out. I was able for the first time to be able to pay for my college this semester instead of taking a loan out for it. I've had 4 or 5 people just this year quit their jobs to start trading full time. And the only thing they wanted to do was have time with their kids. I know that was a big thing for me. That's what attracted me to trading the most. I helped run a family business in Arizona. I helped run a family business. And it was a great job and a great life, but I was married to the business like you are with any business you have. I didn't get weekends off. As soon as we made a plan, I'd get a phone call and I'm gone, right? It was a tough thing to deal with, and us thinking about bringing kids into our family of, I want to be there, right? I don't want to be the type of dad that comes home at 8 o'clock at night, goes to bed for 2 hours and then goes back to work. And so I look at our lives now and say, I literally golf more than I work. That'll change a little bit when I have kids, but when we have kids, but the opportunity to have the quality of life in the free time, I think is priceless. To be able to enjoy this life and live it. Go ahead.
And I also think that everyone just truly cares. Like, I know when we were first starting to just have Jeremy to talk to and to have them really care and be like, oh, we want you to succeed, and to have people that are in RLT to reach out, because I know we could have reached out way more when we first started, when we didn't know, but to use that tool and to use that thing that you're a part of, like anyone a part of RLT, reach out if you have questions, and reach out, because everyone there just wants to help you and to help lift you up and be the best potential and person you can be. Like, I feel like Jeremy has brought out the best in Tony, and like, it's just been really cool to see that he gave us a chance and opportunity to grow. And like, we're just so grateful for Jeremy and RLT and everything that it's helped us with in our lives.
Yeah, definitely. I see a trend for sure in every one of these groups as well, is the amount of support that's there. Trading is not possible without support, whether it's with the community. Everyone's like, why do you trade with the community?
Yes.
It's because that support is a key to success in trading, especially starting out.
Yeah.
And that is so true when it comes to your significant other, when they're alongside with you in this journey. To have that support, to have them on the same page, I think is crucial. So if you're thinking right now saying, hey, my spouse is not on board, I want to trade, throw them our way. Let's show them what real life trading is all about. That's the reason why we have this name. It's not a scam. It's not a gimmick. It's not gambling. Will you lose money? Of course you will. Will you also gain skills to be able to manage risk and walk out at the end of the year with money? Yes, you will. Put the time in, put the work in, understand it. It's just like any other job. There is a skill to require. Once you acquire that skill, it's something you can have with you for the rest of your life. And so if they are struggling, trying to get on board, hopefully you're watching this video with them. Throw them over, have them email me, Tony at Real Life Trading. I'm happy to help. I'm sure Allie would spend some time with them as well. Anyone on this video would have just given them their story of, yes, it's going to be hard, but it is possible, right? It's a real life story of exactly what's going on. So
great words. Taskia, Devin, any last thoughts, recommendations for people that may be struggling or thinking about getting in trading?
I can go first. Just to touch, I think, on that last point with, about it being, that sense of family and that group. I know there's a couple times when Taskia came to me, she's like, I had a really bad day or a really bad week. And, and then she'll be like, talking to Matt or Jeremy and so forth. And the support that she gets, I think I've never seen or heard of anywhere else. And it's just that sort of, to get you through those tough days, especially in the beginning. And it is hard. Sometimes I have to ground her because she thinks I'm going to do it like tomorrow. And I'm like, no, like just baby steps. You're going to get there. It's a process. Just, follow the process and everything else will follow. Right. And I think for her, it's like managing her expectations because she wants to be great tomorrow. And I'm like, you'll get there, and so, it's a process. There will be down days, there are going to be up days, but you have that support there in the RLT family, I think to help you along. And it's something that I haven't seen or heard of before. So I think it's really great.
Awesome.
Yeah. Devin can be not my therapist anymore because I have Matt, I have Johnny, I have anytime I have a bad day, I'm reaching out to all the moderators because you really, really need that, because it's really difficult to come back from, because trading is so emotional because your money is tied to it, especially in the beginning. And especially for me, the last 2 weeks has been really, really hard after doing really, really good. It's like a big fall because I couldn't time some of the trades right. And if I didn't reach out to Matt or Robert, it would have been so difficult because there's a feeling of wanting to quit when you're not doing so well. And and then if you don't have the right support, it gets really even more harder to keep going. So I feel like even if Devin wasn't home, I would reach out to Matt or Rob or Johnny or anybody else, because I know that I can get that encouragement that I need from them, and then anybody else, and like the members, like they're so great. I feel like I know everybody in the community, and and we have like 600, 700 members. It's insane, and but you don't feel like a stranger. You feel like you know everybody, and if anybody's doing good, you're happy for them.
Yeah.
Which is so rare, you know. And I'm never leaving.
Yeah. Great points, T. Brett, Katie, any thoughts about the future and where you're going, and any recommendations for people?
Yeah. Well, I guess for me, the big thing about RLT was, everybody says trading's hard. It's hard. And Jeremy's the first one that's like, trading's, I think, but easy but difficult.
Yes.
Like walking 1,000 miles.
Right.
And I've never heard somebody say that before. So when we were kind of talking about just kind of the ups and downs, not going anywhere, I knew I was taking profit too quickly, but I had good risk. And then after being in the community and kind of getting a different mindset, I was more comfortable, I guess, letting things run and actually making more money off of it. So
Yeah, when you stop looking at it constantly and jumping the gun on things. So it's, since he started RLT, he's had more time and not so focused on the markets constantly. And when he has questions, he's got somewhere to go to get help too. And
I used to buy high and sell higher. Who knew that buying low and selling high actually works better?
Awesome. Babe?
Well, what I like about RLT is people are just willing to share, not just their highs, but also their lows. And on Friday's morning room, when you were closing and Tony was continuing the room, and he said that there are times when you place your trade, and especially February was pretty tough. Not just pretty tough. It was rough, people. But what Tony said is that sometimes you put your strategy out there and you put things in place to weather the storm, especially now when the market is relatively volatile. But you have it in place and you have your trades in, and it's hard to watch. You're gonna see red all over, but you gotta stay the course. And people in the RLT community are so generous, not just sharing their wins, but their losses. And I think for a trader, that kind of community that's willing to share both the positives and the negatives, it's very encouraging, because you as a trader, if you're doing it alone and you're not doing well, you're thinking you're failing. But then with a community like this, somebody's sharing, it's not failing. It's the name of the game. It's part of the business, and you just have to weather it and put things in place so that you can win more than you lose. So yeah, RLT is great that way.
Yep, absolutely.
And happy to be a part of this family.
Well, I hope you got something out of these interviews and discussions today. We are family. We'd love to have you guys part of us. Like Tony had mentioned earlier, please reach out to either Tony or myself. Tony can be reached at Tony, Tony, @reallifetrading.com. You can reach out to me, Johnny, @reallifetrading.com, JONNY. If you have any questions, we can refer you over to Brett or Taskia, and we just love to help you out and answer any questions that you may have. For those already in the community, we discussed a lot of things today. We discussed especially the support mechanism that Real Life Trading has. We talked about risk mitigation. We talked about just doing this together and building friendships and futures. So those are some really important things to keep in mind. Tony, any last second words, advice before we end?
Yeah, no, just thank you all for your time. Again, another example of RLT, just everyone taking their time out to be a blessing to someone else. There are people struggling right now, trying to get started in trading, and this video is going to help them a ton, for sure. I know it would have helped Ali and I a lot if I could sit down and watch this video that just happened. So I'm grateful for your time. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for your time. We'll see you Monday. Aloha from Hawaii.
Aloha, brother.
Thanks.
You guys.
Bye.